Hey, it's November and the garden is done for the season, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to wander around and take a look at what we've got going on for composting. Okay, so when we first got the property, I needed a place to compost just kitchen waste. And when I had my little grocery store to compost the waste from the store, the vegetable waste, so I set up some pallet compost bins down here near the house with some tarps over their heads. They've been here for a number of years. So you can see it's just one pallet on the side, one in the back, and one separating, and one partial one in the front. And these second two here they still have compost in there that I need to dig out. I had planned to build these at an angle so the water would drain off, but I didn't give it enough of an angle. So I need to get these pulled off and the compost out. The downside of this is that, I have to carry everything up in buckets to the wheelbarrow because it's pretty steep down here now that they've got the rock work done. So let's traipse through the woods. So we'll just wander through here. This is a set of pallets that I set up after the first three were full. It's really wet down here in the fall and winter. You can see there's actually standing water. It dries up to just kind of more of a bog during the summertime. Okay, let's just get out of here. All right, this is the new set of compost bins. There's a galvanized metal roof. So yeah, I'm not sure about this material, as far as collecting water off of it because of the zinc. It's supposed to kill microbes, and I don't know if that's something you want to throw in with your compost, right? But I don't know. If anybody has an idea about that, let me know in the comments below. As you can see, this set of compost bins has a roof on it, and the old set of pallet compost bins, I had tarps over the top. And that's because here in Wrangell, we have about an average 80 inches of rain per year. So, you don't want the compost to get too soggy, and you also don't want it to be too dry. So what I used to do with the pallet compost bins is I would dump my veggie waste, and then I would just take a bucket that I had on the side where the water would just drain off the tarps into the bucket. I would take that full bucket of water and just slosh it in there with the veggies. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this set of compost bins because like I was saying, I don't know with the galvanized roof, should I be collecting that water and using it in the compost because of the zinc. I could just go over and grab some water from the swamp, I guess, but it'd be handy if I had some water sitting right here next to the bins. As you can see at the end here, our buddy Ray took his utility truck and bashed into that on accident. Okay, here's my sign from the old store. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bins. So this was built by Tyler, who always does everything overkill. But who's gonna complain about an overbuilt set of compost bins, eh? And so these are 1 foot by 1 foot timbers that he had, and stack those up with 2x4s separating for some airflow. On the inside we've got a cleat for the bin boards, and then we've got the wood structures coming up to hold the roof. And let's take a look inside here. A couple of weeks ago we went out and got seaweed. This one was partially filled and it has sunk down a lot. It was 2.5 full, so it sunk down about, I don't know, a foot or so. These are crazy. These were filled, these two here were filled all the way to the top, and in just a few weeks they're down 2.5 feet. Let's take a look at the temperature. 100 degrees. They were 120. And again, fills the brim, and now shrunk down that far. And this I'm using for household waste now. This isn't something I want to do. I think it's kind of a waste of more of a commercial sized bin, but that's what I'm doing right now. And fella brought some leaves by, which always makes me a little bit nervous. I always think, oh, you know, there's gonna be slug eggs or slugs in there and they're gonna infest my garden. This is shredded cardboard, which I will show you guys how I do. And this one and the partially full seaweed bin were running about like 60-70 degrees. So, and this one, we've got the last of our slate siding for the house, which we need to move out of here so that I can use this composting bin. What we like to do with the seaweed is wait for a really big storm, and then just the wind blows the loose seaweed onto the beach. Then we take our truck out there, we drive out onto the shoreline and put a big tarp in the bed, grab our pitchforks and just load it in all the way up above the height of the bed. And then we come back here, back the truck to one of the bins and shovel it in. And it takes about 2 really full truckloads to fill one of those compost bins. You might be thinking, why in the world does she need so much compost? And the thing is eventually I would like to have a market garden that is up to 1/4 acre. I'm just right now building it plot by plot. This area is relatively dry, but it's still kind of muskeg, and so I've been bringing in soil from elsewhere on the island, and it's just not really great topsoil. It's a really nice base soil, but it doesn't have a lot of nutrients, so I need the compost to make it fertile, and I need a lot of it. It was fun taking you guys around to show you what I've got going on for composting. Today we talked about structures mostly, so in the future it'd be kind of interesting to talk about composting theory and more about composting materials. I would like to know what you guys are doing for composting. Are you just piling it up into a pile? Do you have a janky set of pallets? Do you have a fancy pants composting structure? You know, what is it you're doing? Let me know in the comments below. And as you can see behind me, there's the garden. It's done for the season, greenhouse, and I will talk to you guys later. got a piece of cardboard. Yeah, that's what's called voiding the warranty.